friends, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Joe. Welcome to Spoilers Digest,
where we predict the plots of your favorite movies that we've never seen.
Then we digest the movie and see what we got wrong.
How clever.
I know, right? Using that word.
And today, Joe is going to be breaking down for us a newer movie. We haven't delved into the late 2000s yet.
Post-aughts.
Well, the teens is really what it is. The teens, yeah.
I guess that's it.
So we're going to do 10 Cloverfield Lane today.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you seen the original Cloverfield?
I have seen. So they're related.
They're distant relatives.
I figured with Cloverfield, not too many things use Cloverfield, so they're probably the same thing.
How did you feel about Cloverfield?
Yeah. I liked it. I don't think I had strong feelings about it, though.
I really loved Cloverfield.
Did you?
And I was really excited for 10 Cloverfield Lane because I just really enjoyed... I really love monster movies. They really capture my imagination. And I was really excited for a part 2 monster movie with like a fun twist to it. I went into it knowing really nothing about it. So it was a very fun surprise for me. So I'm curious what you know about it.
Well, let's just go like the things I remember. I think of Cloverfield whenever I see a Ferris wheel. I think of Cloverfield.
Because of the moment where she's on the Ferris wheel and she's with her boyfriend.
And if you pay close close attention,
the thing falls from the sky. Yeah, so an alien falls from the sky, and that is the Cloverfield monster, which terrorizes our great nation.
So when I think of Ferris wheels, I think of Cloverfield. So when I think of bunkers, I think of Blast from the Past. But I also think of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
So you are familiar with the setting of this movie?
Yes.
And did it take place in a...
bunker.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Okay, so let's get back to the plot of the movie. So we know that it is a relative of Cloverfield, and we know that it takes place in a bunker.
Mm-hmm.
So paint the picture for me. What has happened in the world? Why are we in the bunker? How do we get there?
So it's like, that's the thing. I mentioned Blast from the Past earlier. I feel like that's what's happening here. So this originally takes place, it starts at 2010, whenever Cloverfield came out. Was that the year?
I think it was 2008, around then.
Well, this happened in 2010. It was post, they were around for 2 years and let's get in the bunker now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just hung out for a little bit.
Gotcha.
So this is starting in 2010.
Right. When things were dire with the monster situation.
Yes. And so John Goodman is hanging out in his bunker, his best friend's bunker. And someone comes knocking on the door. And
it's just John Goodman?
At the beginning, yes.
Okay.
And someone comes knocking on the door. They're like, I see you have a bunker. Can I stay in it too? I'm very scared out here.
Okay.
And then John Goodman says, sure.
Okay. Also, I'd just like to point out that that's not how bunkers work. I don't know that they have door. I guess they have to have some kind of door.
They have a door.
Okay.
It's probably just not visible.
Right. So they're just they have a metal detector and they found the bunker door. Okay.
So this was 2 years later. So sorry, John Goodman was in there for 2 years before someone came by.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Sorry, I didn't explain that. And so they're like, oh, we're scared out here. It's been 2 years. A lot has happened and I'm still scared.
I've reached my monster quota after 2 years.
I've got enough monster to last me my life. So can I live with you now? And John Goodman's like, yeah, and that was just one person. And then whenever he opened the door for this person, the other person snuck in. Because we end up with 3 people in the bunker.
Okay.
So this other person slides in.
But John Goodman doesn't know.
He does.
And okay.
But as he's closing the door, the other person comes in. So the girl comes to the door first. Because I know there's a guy and a girl. Yeah. And there's John Goodman.
Okay.
So John Goodman's closing the door because the girl came to the door. And he's like, yeah, come on in. I'll protect you. Let's live together in this bunker.
Just the three of us. Three's company.
Just the two of us.
Okay.
And then as he's closing the door, the guy sneaks in.
Oh.
But the door only has like a 2 open maximum. So he opened it to get in.
That's a weird rule.
When he first got in.
Okay.
And he was going to use the second one to get out at the end of his life. But, so the door locks behind this guy sneaking in, and he can't open the door again because he's John Goodman and he's just used up his second door opening.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's such a weird door.
So now
I can't get over that. That's such a weird rule for a door to have.
Look, we're in 2010. This is the future.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot.
So anything's possible in the future.
Yeah, there was a huge...
Or there's like a time lock on it. Maybe there's a time lock on it.
Okay.
A timed lock on it.
Okay. Go on. Anyway,
so then all three of them end up living, and he's not happy about it. John Goodman's not happy about that extra guy coming in.
Oh, he just wanted it to be him and that girl.
Yeah, well, he was like, yeah, I'll let this one person in.
Okay.
I won't let 2 people in, but the guy snuck in.
Okay.
And now he has to wait 10 more years before he can open the door again.
John Goodman has such a weird set of standards for his bunker.
Yeah.
But that's
well,
fascinating.
It's his bunker,
yeah.
you know?
So who's the protagonist? Whose story are we really rooting for here?
We're rooting for John Goodman. We're on his side.
Okay.
Because he's good, man.
Yeah, right.
He's always good.
Yeah.
He always plays the good character. Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm so excited for you to watch this movie.
Okay, let me just continue with the plot. Can we just go,
right.
I'll hit this real quick.
Can you take me to the
Post-door
climax?
closing. Post-door closing. So he ties up the guy because he's really mad at him, and we hang out for like a couple years. And the guy's just tied up. They keep feeding him, like, whatever.
Okay. This is like a fun montage moment with
immediately
happy music.
10 minutes into the movie, there's already like a montage.
And John Goodman and this girl are just playing checkers, and there's a man tied up in the corner,
and they throw grapes at him. They're tossing, open your mouth, toss a grape.
And he's like, I'm so hungry, please feed me. I've been pissing my pants for 8 years.
And they're like, oh, you, and they like wave their hands like. It is set to Jitterbug. It is set to not Duran Duran, but Jitterbug.
Wham!
I was close.
Yeah.
It sounds like that sounds the same. And so that happened. Like literally 10, 15 minutes in, we already got our first montage. But the thing about this movie is there's just a lot of montages because there's not much to do in a bunker.
Right.
So like then they'll talk for a little bit, and then like, this is the next thing we should do. And then, like, let's redecorate our house. And then there's a montage of them redecorating.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Like trading spaces.
Just like trading spaces.
Trading bunkers.
Name
one bunker movie that doesn't have a montage. A fun interior design montage.
I can't
really name too many bunker movies, period.
I know too.
Yeah. And, yeah. So... what's the dramatic question? Do we have a climax here when...
Okay, yeah. So the guy gets loose. He breaks his bindings after like 3 years because they just they don't keep up with them.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't keep up with like getting new rope and stuff like that. So just like it deteriorates.
I hate when that happens.
Right?
Yeah.
So after like 3 years, it deteriorates, and then he hides. There's not many places you can hide in a bunker because you know the layout. There's no outside.
Ain't it the truth?
Ain't it the truth? But it's starting to smell in that place because there's got to be running water, right? I don't know how bunkers work.
There doesn't got to be anything,
I don't know how
to be
bunkers
honest.
work.
This is also a movie, so we can suspend our disbelief here.
That's very true. This could be Inception-esque. Is it Inception-esque?
I don't know what you meant by that statement.
Have you not seen Inception?
I have, but what are you getting at?
Just like mind-boggling.
Crazy. You mean like it just doesn't have to be...
It doesn't make... doesn't have to be linear and make
adhere to
sense.
our sense of...
Our dimension.
Right.
Our reality. Our physics.
So how does the monster factor into this, or does it?
Hardly. That's it at the end. Because the monster has babies that can get... Because the monster's really big. It can't get into a bunker. But its babies can get into a bunker.
Right. And because we all know that the Cloverfield monster does continually produce babies. That's not even a gag that I'm making up right
it's
now.
in the movie.
They just fall off of the monster. It's kind of my
spider.
nightmare on a lot of levels. Yeah, they're kind of spider crabs.
Yeah, spider crabs.
Are perfectly bunker sized.
And so, fast forward, there's like drama inside the bunker because like John Goodman's not happy that these people are like, this guy got away from him and like is hiding somewhere in the bunker and he can't find them, and then he finally finds him and blah 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 blah, like all the regular story.
Right.
But at the end, one of the spider crabs breaks through the door.
Right.
It's been 10 years at this point, and they can open the door again.
Oh, so they're kind of evolving. Is that what you're saying?
No, just the door's not locked anymore. And so they can hit it open.
This is a really specific door.
It's a 10-year lock door.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can, yeah.
And this crab's been waiting outside, like, I know the day is coming.
Yeah, he had a stopwatch the whole time.
My moment is nigh.
Like, they'll do cuts during the movie where it looks like, look out the window and there's like the door's window and you can just see a crab out there and he's just like checking his watch and like
reading the paper.
He's like, and they do use the paper so that you could tell like what year it is. It's actually weird. They use that as like the changing of like time.
Yes, Dan Trachtenberg. Thank you for that.
Right?
That's so good.
Trachtenberg?
Yeah.
Is he?
He's the director.
Aha. Did he do other things like TV shows? Trachtenberg.
He's directed a lot of commercials.
There's someone with the last name Trachtenberg.
Geek Drone, the Totally Rad Show.
You know who I was thinking? Michelle Trachtenberg.
Who is that? Wait, is she the one that was in the ice skating movie?
She was in Euro Trip, and
Was she Ice Princess?
she was Ice Princess. You're right.
Holy fuck! How did I pull that?
Harriet the Spy. You don't know.
I know who Harriet the Spy is. Sorry, I'm still reeling from the fact that I knew that Michelle Trachtenberg was the Ice Princess.
Oh my gosh, she's cool. I like her a lot.
Which is another movie that I don't know that I've actually seen. Cool. But now that we have predicted the plot of Ice Princess for you,
right?
So we have the invasion of the crab spider, and
that's it. It breaks through, and that's like that's a cliffhanger because they're gonna come out with 12 Cloverfield Lane next
on the same side of the street.
Mm-hmm.
We're skipping 11.
Yeah, like it was the neighbor's house. Because 11 would be across the street.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it'd be the neighbor's house.
Right, that's smart.
12.
Great. So I'm just curious what the moral of the story is for this movie. What can we as audience members take away into our daily lives?
So like I think at least this is what I get from it is like don't own a door that you can't open more than twice in 10 years.
Boy, that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's real.
I mean, it's very like abstract. Like don't let your heart, because he's also like he doesn't let the guy into his heart. Like he hates him the whole movie.
Yeah.
So he lets the girl into his heart, but he doesn't let the guy into his heart. So like let your heart, let your emotions open up more than twice every 10 years.
Right. But also, don't own a door that you can't open twice in 10 years.
Literally, don't own a door that you can't open.
That's a super bad idea and shouldn't
You're going to get
exist.
stuck either inside or outside of what your building is.
That was a brief window of time in 2010, and it should never happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I feel like I learned a lot, and so now...
Let me go watch this movie.
Joe's going to go watch this movie, and then he's going to come back, and we're just going to let it settle, take an Alka-Seltzer, and we'll digest it, see what he got correct. I'm really excited for you to watch this movie.
Man, do I hope Michelle Trachtenberg's in this one.
We are back, and Joe has seen 10 Cloverfield Lane. Joe, break it down for me now, please. What happened in this movie? Just real quick. Point by point, facts only.
Okay. John Goodman, from the top,
woman is like leaving her fiance.
Okay.
And she's driving away, and she's driving down this dark street, and then she crashes.
Okay.
And she doesn't know how she crashed. And then she wakes up, and she's in a bunker. And John Goodman's like, I'm John Goodman.
Oh, he never said that.
He probably did.
Oh.
I listened to it muted. And so she finds out that she's in a bunker, and some things have happened out in the world. But she doesn't really believe it. So she tries to break loose, and then John Goodman pulls her back and like doesn't let her go. And then she kind of is okay with living in this bunker, and she believes that it's true now, that there was like this cataclysmic event that like killed off people, and people are dying out there. And like the air is like toxic, and you shouldn't go outside. Mm-hmm. So then she's fine with it for a little bit, and then she finds out that John Goodman, he keeps on referencing this other girl, and she finds out that he probably killed her. And so she's all like, we need to get out. And she's talking to this other guy. And this other guy's like, yeah, let's get out. And then this other guy's like, they're trying to make this plan to make like this suit that they can walk outside in. Mm-hmm. But they're doing this behind John Goodman's back because they don't want him to know that they're trying to break free. Mm-hmm. And then John Goodman finds out. And the guy says it's all him. It wasn't the girl. And then John Goodman kills him. And then the girl's like, I definitely need to get out of here because he just killed a guy in front of me. And then she, through a series of events, catches the whole place on fire, blah, blah, blah. You know that story.
Yeah.
And then,
do I?
Yeah. And then she finds her way out, and shit did get real. Aliens are now controlling, are attacking this cornfield, that John Goodman's farm.
Yeah. Aliens of the corn.
And then she breaks free of that, and then she just drives, and she catches on the radio that's like, go to Houston if you can fight and help us, or go north of Baton Rouge. And she gets to a crossroads like Baton Rouge forward, Houston left. And she thinks about it for a second, and then she goes to Houston.
Man!
She decides that she wants to fight.
That was a good movie.
It was not what I was expecting. Let me tell you that much.
Okay, so tell me what you got correct from your previous assessment of what you thought would happen.
Okay, so my previous assessment was John Goodman was in this bunker, right? And it was his own bunker. That's true.
Yes.
He liked the girl, and he didn't like the guy.
Yes.
That's true.
Did you say that?
I did.
Oh, good job.
Like him and her were like, he really liked hanging out with her, but this guy was just like collateral. He doesn't need him around.
Yeah.
I did say that the guy, the other guy, not John Goodman, was captive, but that wasn't true. It was actually the girl who was super captive.
I mean, they were all kind of captive.
They both were, but like the other guy knew John Goodman before this whole thing happened. So he was less captive. So she was definitely the more of the captive parties.
On the captive spectrum.
On the captive spectrum, yes, she was more on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although some might argue that John Goodman's character was the most captive.
Of his own mind.
Of his own mind, his own bunker.
His own bunker.
And his own
10-year door.
Wait.
That didn't exist. I said about a 10-year door.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes, I would. I remember, yes.
That doesn't exist. But he does have it very
because it doesn't
locked.
exist anywhere, does it? Well, and it's not even like a trope. It's just something that you made up. So.
Like it exists in my imagination.
Right. Well, and I guess that's really what matters.
But also, that might have been the lie that Christopher Walken gave Brendan Fraser in Blast from the Past.
Yeah.
That might have been. That's probably where I got like a 10 because he locked it for like so many years. I think that's what I have it. That's in my head.
Yeah.
So there is a 10-year door in fiction.
Oh, okay. So you didn't make that up.
I didn't make that up.
Okay.
That was something.
You just kind of smashed those plots
together. They're bunker movies.
Right. It was just a collage.
Other things that happened that I got right. So the guy, he didn't sneak in. So I said the guy snuck in.
Right.
But he didn't.
Yeah.
But what did happen was that we did find out that the guy was kind of like he coerced his way in. John Goodman didn't want him in there, but he kind of like talked his way into it, and he was there. So he didn't sneak in per se, but he got in by means that weren't just like John inviting him in.
I'm gonna gonna say that you got that right.
I'm gonna say like that snuck
That counts.
in. Yeah, that snuck in.
That's like the same. That's like the realistic version of what you said.
So the series of sentences that I wrote down in my book while watching the movie, I wrote, "It's surprising the lack of montages." Because there weren't many montages. I said there were a lot of montages in this movie. And then 10 minutes later, a fucking montage.
Yeah, they did
and
have
then
a montage.
The next sentence was, montage, in big letters, 2 exclamation points.
I see that. Well, you gotta have a montage if you're passing time in a bunker.
Yeah. So I did get that right.
Of course you got that right.
It wasn't as frequent as I thought it was going to be, but there was a montage.
Right.
I also got right, not per se as accurately as like a baby monster was outside their door the whole time, but when she finally got loose and got out of the bunker, there definitely was like a monster waiting for her.
Yeah. Well,
An
because
alien
you
was
saw
there at the end.
Because you saw a regular old Cloverfield. Well, that's not what the movie's called, but you know.
Just regular old Cloverfield is what that one's called.
Yeah.
And then 10 Cloverfield Lane is the sequel.
But
were they the same monsters though? It was very dark. I couldn't see a lot of things. But they didn't look like the same like gangly long.
Right. I think that is kind of where you have to stretch your understanding of regular old Cloverfield with 10 Cloverfield Lane, because they definitely don't match up super well, do they?
Also, like in Cloverfield, it was a monster that flew down from space. It seemed like not this, like that wasn't its intent. And then this one was like, these aliens have spaceships.
Right, that's what I was going to say, is that these aliens are a lot more technological.
Advanced,
the one in New York City seems like an accident. It seems like it
like,
got
I woke
pooped
up
into the
and,
ocean and woke up and is like very, very sad and has lots
people.
of crab babies running around. Right, that doesn't happen with this version of the alien. So maybe this is, they're cousins of some kind, or, you know, some sort of familial relationship, or
like buddy cops.
Or the first Cloverfield monster was escaped from whatever galaxy or alternate universe they came from, and then the high-tech aliens were like,
we gotta go find him.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? He was the
But they should have been like, he's huge, this is not going to be hard to find.
Right. This alien was sort of the Bo Bergdahl, if you will, of aliens.
He just got it. He
got out, and then we had to go fuck shit up to get it back. And then the aliens ended up destroying the planet. And they were like, I guess there's stuff we can probably loot here and fuck their shit up.
People.
Yeah, so so that's really what this movie is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is a metaphor for the Bo Bergdahl story.
Yeah. Michelle Trachtenberg was not in this movie, but the lead actress's character's name was Michelle.
Yes. Good job.
I really wanted Michelle Trachtenberg to be in this movie.
I'm so sorry. Next time we'll do Ice Princess. Which is still the only movie she's in, apparently. Okay, so is there anything else? And you're correct
No.
incorrect?
That's all the notes I have. I was more blown away by like how weird this movie got, and that's all. It got weirder and weirder as the movie went on. I liked it.
I almost feel like I was distracted by the fact that they tried to link it to Cloverfield, because I kept waiting for Cloverfield-like things to happen.
They should have just like named it 10 like 4-leaf field.
Yeah.
So you don't even like think about Cloverfield.
Or they could have just given it a different name, but then just put J.J. Abrams' name really big all over the poster, because I think that's what they were essentially trying to do by naming it Cloverfield.
John Goodman's house. John Goodman's house, the bunker.
Yeah, John Goodman's house, the bunker, featuring, like in parentheses, like they do with songs, featuring...
Feet.
And a supernatural monster partially conceived by J.J. Abrams, similar to that of Cloverfield.
But not till the end.
End parentheses.
End of parentheses.
That'd be much more accurate. Yeah.
That was weird.
What was the moral of the story?
So I don't think I was right
because there wasn't a 10-year door.
Yeah, it was kind of impingent on that fact, wasn't it?
But I feel like it's still like, don't. Let me think about it. Got it. Don't trust John Goodman.
Oof.
But like, subtitle, also like, open your heart. So I feel like that's still part of it.
It doesn't have to fit into a log line, you know. This is, morals are complex. There's more than just one line, you know. It can be a little bit messy.
Okay. Moral of the story. Don't listen to whack jobs when they tell you the world has ended. But like, do because it kind of was true.
Okay. Yeah. Right. And don't trust John Goodman.
But
sometimes do.
But yeah, because like, in some movies, trust him.
He had a nice bunker, honestly. I mean, he
was pretty chill.
Set up pretty nicely.
Yeah, he had like a bunch of VHSs. I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
He said DVDs, VHSs, and he also had like a jukebox, which was pretty cool. I'd be listening to music all day.
And the best part is he had so much acid you can dissolve bodies in.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I wish I had some more of that.
Yeah, I feel like I run out all the time. But he had plenty.
Tubs of it.
Great. So, how would you rate this movie, Joe?
I would rate this movie 8.5 years out of 10 years door locking. I'm sorry, I'm still locked on that door.
So you liked it?
Yeah.
I feel like I had so much fun watching this movie. It was just because it had this feeling of, it was super tense and stressful, and I definitely took at least 3 years off of my lifespan.
Yeah.
Because my blood pressure was just skyrocketing, but it was also kind of light and fun. That John Goodman sense of warmth, but also murder.
What would you
He's
rate?
He's a great villain.
What would you rate my prediction of this movie?
I'll give you 1,000 out of 1,500 MREs that John Goodman had stashed away. I was trying to think of a good number of how many MREs it would probably be. That might be a really bad guesstimate, but...
Yeah, he's definitely a really good doomsday prepper, though.
Yeah.
Like, he was prepared.
And we all should be. Maybe that's the moral of the story. Get your bunker...
Get your bunker set up.
Yeah.
Now.
Right now.
Right now.
Don't wait. John Goodman didn't, and he didn't regret it at all.
Until
maybe a little bit. Yeah. That would make
But that was his own fault because he brought that girl in there.
Yeah, be nice to your captives.
Yes. That's another good moral. Don't shoot people in the face.
Unless they're real mean.
Unless that guy wasn't mean, though.
We really are getting a little wishy-washy today. Yeah, we're real bad with morals. Yeah.
Maybe we don't have morals
Everything's
today.
A gray area, though. That's really what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to Spoilers Digest. Special thanks to Alex Petty for our theme song, which he specifically composed for us, which is Bananas. Thank you so much, Alex.
Bomb diggity. We also want to thank Josh Friend, who is a friend of us all, I would say. He made the logo that we use for Spoilers Digest, and if you were interested in his designs, you can find more about him at keepsecret.bigcartel.com.
And you'll see his logos all over our Instagram, which we have and are trying to update, so you can follow us at Spoilers Digest.
And we don't have a sign up.
No, we don't. See you later.
Bye.